Are you well? You're good? Hope everybody ate and drank whatever they want tonight. I'm over food allergies, guys. It's 2014, I'm over food allergies. Have whatever you want, whenever you want it. I love thick shakes, right? Thick shakes are my favourite food/beverage. And I had a mate of mine that wouldn't come and have a thick shake with me, and his reasoning was, he said, Nick, I'd love to come for a thick shake, but you know, I'm lactose intolerant, and if I have a thick shake, I'll feel sick afterwards. I said, that's all right, man, that's not just you, that's everyone. You just had a thick shake. That's a litre of milk with ice cream and syrup in it. Nobody feels good after that. Nobody in the history of thick shakes has ever finished one and then said, fuck, is there a marathon on today? I just feel like running a marathon. I am at my physical peak right now. No, you just sit there for the next 3.5 hours going, oh, how good was that thick shake? That was such... I can't wait to put myself through this again later. I read an article recently on food allergies that upset me a bit. There was a group of shoppers at their local supermarket in Paran. And they went to their local supermarket, they purchased some celery, and they took the celery home and they ate it, and they felt sick. So they went back to the supermarket to investigate what's going on with the celery. Turns out that this celery had been grown in a field where 2 years prior to the celery being grown in that field, wheat had been grown in that very same field. So you can imagine the horror. They've purchased celery, they've taken it home and eaten it. Turns out they're a bit gluten intolerant. So they've gone back and complained. Here's a tip, if you can't eat celery that was grown in a field where wheat had been grown 2 years prior to the celery being grown in that field, get somebody with strength to kill you, all right? Because you're fucking useless. No, if you do have food allergies and you're upset, come and have a chat with me afterwards. I'll be outside holding a Snickers bar. That's got gluten, dairy and nuts in it, all right? That is like kryptonite for food sissies, and I'll just shake it in your faces. And if you flinch, we can't be friends. This mate of mine that wouldn't come for a thick shake though, right? Recently he's also been trying to get me into yoga. He's been trying to get me into yoga. What's that? He does yoga and he's got food allergies. What are the odds? 1,000%. They're the odds. They're the odds of those two things being attributed. I can't lift heavy things and I'm scared of bread. Useless. So, I don't know if you know this about yoga, but it's just stretching. We're all aware of that, right? But we all also know that what you're meant to do is stretch and then follow it up with some other shit. That's what you stretch for the actual activity. You're not meant to just stretch for an hour, then say namaste and have a kale shake. That makes you such an annoying fuckhead. Yoga's never gotten anybody out of a bad situation either. That's why I don't believe it as a form of exercise. I've never heard this story. Mate, I was walking down King Street, right? 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning, guy comes out of the bar, pulls a knife on me. I didn't freak out. I just downward dogged at him, man. No, you haven't heard that story because that person's dead. Because they decided to do yoga instead of an actual activity. But this mate of mine, he was trying to get me into yoga, right? Specifically Bikram yoga. Now, I've got to be honest, I had no idea what Bikram yoga was because I like the UFC and you can only like one of those things at a time. So I had to forget about cage fighting for a moment, learn about Bikram yoga. I had no idea. My mate said, Nick, I know you make fun of regular yoga, right? But Bikram yoga, you are going to love this, mate. You are going to love it. It is so hard. It is yoga in a room that is 45 degrees hot. And I said, fuck, you know what? That does sound hard. You know why? Because everything is hard in 45 degrees. That's not the yoga that's making that difficult, that's the temperature. Bikram everything is hard. Try Bikram walk to the shops, try that. I dare you to try Bikram walk to the shops. That is so hard. Try Bikram have a nap in a house with no air conditioning. That is rough. Try Bikram eat an ice cream. You're going to have to be fast and focused. You don't have long. It's going to melt. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Cheers.